this video, there's a Doordash scammer. I think it happened probably 2 or 3 months ago, but this story keeps circulating, and I said I'm going to cover it. I see more people reposting it a day ago, 2 days ago. Somebody sent it to me as well. So this Doordasher scammer, or Doordash scammer, he allegedly scammed people over $733,000, actually up to $1 million, and anywhere between that, $700 and $1 million. And he scammed Doordash drivers out of that. So let's watch this story real quick, because this one right here, it really caught my attention. And he's only 21 years old, y'all. 21 years old.
Stanford police say this is the man behind it, 21-year-old David Smith. Police first arrested Smith in January after patrol officers responded to a domestic violence incident at an apartment on Prospect Street. The department's financial crimes unit then took an interest in him due to what officers noticed in the apartment.
Stacks of cash, over 100 payment cards in names other than the 2 people involved, a handgun, 2 fake IDs, and an illegal extended magazine on that handgun.
What? Investigator Mike Stempian says there were also 5 safes filled with cash. In total, police recovered $733,000 from the apartment.
So it's a massive amount of money in a single apartment in Stanford for this guy running the scheme. It was obviously very lucrative to him.
The scheme allegedly targeted Doordash drivers in California. Police say Smith would use one of his many phones to place a fake delivery order to a restaurant in the Golden State. Then when the driver was on the way, police say Smith would call them from a different phone and say he was Doordash support and there was a problem with the order.
Then he would get them to click a link or go to a website, and then that essentially would turn over their credentials, their username and password, to him. Once he was in control of that, he would change the billing information and steal any funds that they had for deliveries they had done, basically steal their paycheck.
Smith is accused of doing this to more than 700 drivers over the course of 2.5 years.
Now, this is where it actually end kind of abruptly, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another video that came out after that video and solidified everything. Listen.
Other news tonight, the former Stanford man who's accused of stealing almost $1 million in an elaborate Doordash scam was shot to death Monday in New York. This came right before he was due in court in Stanford for a potential resolution in that case. News 12 Connecticut's Marissa Alter with the latest tonight.
David Smith was supposed to appear in Stanford Superior Court Wednesday morning to accept or reject a plea offer in his case. Instead, the state's attorney's office learned Smith was killed 2 days ago.
New Rochelle police found David Smith shot several times in the chest Monday morning at the Heritage Homes complex. Police said a personal dispute led to the 22-year-old's death. They've since arrested 4 men in connection.
Community members did help with this, with calls to the police of the shots and descriptions of people running away.
Smith was living in Mount Vernon. He moved there after Stanford police arrested him in June 2023 in what one investigator called the most massive scheme he's seen. More than 700 drivers were scammed over the course of 2.5 years. Police said Smith also stole the identities of dozens of people to open debit card accounts where he transferred the stolen money. Smith was considering a plea deal in the case at the time of his death. His decision to take the offer or go to trial had been expected at Wednesday's court hearing. The details of the deal weren't made public.
David Smith's attorney, Frank Riccio, says that he was shocked to learn of his client's death. He told News 12 that, quote, he was a quiet, kind young man who I had the pleasure of knowing. I feel terrible for his family. And he ends with, what a tragedy.
What a tragedy, huh? He was a quiet young man. He was a quiet, kind young man. He was a kind young man? No, he wasn't. He was a thief. He was a criminal. He was stealing from honest working people who were going to work, probably doing deliveries on the side after coming from, a 9-to-5 full-time job, doing deliveries after work, trying to, make ends meet, trying to earn a living. He was stealing from those people, honest working people. He wasn't stealing from criminals. He was stealing from honest working people who are out there at night late at night, driving their vehicle, paying for their vehicles, paying for their gas, paying for maintenance, paying for this, and he's just sitting back stealing these people money. And he was a kind young man? No, he wasn't kind. He was an evil young man, and what happened is he paid the price of everything that he did. He didn't feel sorry for those people that he was stealing from. He was a criminal. Look, we're not going to be out here stealing from people, and scamming people, and not thinking that, all of that is not going to come to an end one day. It's going to come to a sudden end one day. And what's going to happen is you may pay the ultimate price. If you can put so much energy into learning something that's going to benefit you in a bad way, which means if you're going to put so much energy into learning how to scamming from people, why don't you put all that energy into learning how to pretty much do something the legal way and make money? He's just sitting there, him and all them other people sitting there. Instead of jumping in a vehicle or something and deliver for Doordash, they sit behind their laptops, sit behind their phones, sit behind their device, and try to scam people who are actually out there running deliveries all day, all night, and making money the honest way. That's what they did. He cut corners, and what he got, he deserved. You know how many people he stole from that had to pay bills, probably paid their rent, probably paid their mortgage, and because he stole those people's money, they couldn't come up with rent money? He was about stealing from people. He's a crook. He's a criminal, or I should say he was a crook. He was a criminal. He was quiet but evil.
Smith's attorney, Frank Riccio, says that he was shocked to learn of his client's death. He told News 12 that, quote, he was a quiet, kind young man who I had the pleasure of knowing.
He wasn't quiet and kind. He was quiet and evil. And all those other people, if you're a scammer and you're out there watching this video right now, stop. Quit while you're ahead. Get into something legal, not illegal. Try to get into something that could change your life, man. Like, you're going to be a scammer forever? Forever, ever? Shout out to y'all. See you in the next video. Peace.